Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are talking performance. Performance not just on the Softail, but also on, well, all bikes really, but we're using my own bike as a, test subject, if you will. The audio is not real great in this room, and I'm not going to shoot the whole video here, but I did want to point out that with my bike and with any bike, it's a lot of fun to have a good bass run to know what kind of power you're building as you go. I'm going to do a couple of runs, check some stuff on the computer, get some good bass numbers, because today we're installing Screaming Eagle mufflers, because, well, I'll explain that in a second. And yeah, I bet we got bass numbers now. Let's get this video started. All right, bass run complete, but I'll fill y'all in on what my numbers are in just a second. For those of you that don't know me, my name is John Maxwell, and I'm a highly trained unprofessional right here at Chattahoochee Harley Davidson. And on this channel, I bring you guys to work with me. So if you want to learn more about Harley Davidson, you should hit the subscribe button right now. All right, I got the mufflers cooling off so that I can get some new ones installed. I think I already told you the Screaming Eagles. Let's see what it is I got while that's happening so I can start taking this bike apart. Wait, I totally forgot to get a sound check and I'm already cooling the bike off. So we'll do that real quick. Does that sound weak enough for you? All right, so I got muffler gaskets, a Pro tuner, and mufflers themselves. So I'll explain why I did all this stuff on the bike later. I just really want to get these installed and listen to them. So let's do that first. Packaged very nicely, like so. I think the fitment for these are the Heritage and the Deluxe. Note to self, empty tour pack, then remove it from motorcycle. Now they're clean. My oils won't, like from my fingers, won't get into the chrome and stain them and make them look all gross. Let's do a sound test. Does that sound a single bit different to you? Maybe a little? Yeah. Alright. Consensus around the shop is maybe the smallest little bit. So let's discuss why I did this. So I don't think they sound that much different, but whatever. That's the thing about exhaust. Either is sound, style, and performance. And I did not pick these it does feel peppier right off the rip there a little bit, maybe, hopefully. It should. Woo. We are in just a second going to do the dyno. In a second in the video we'll do the dyno runs comparisons and I'll explain what we're looking at. But it's my off day and the kids wanted to hang out today, and who am I to let them down? But I did want to kind of touch on some of what I saw at a presentation at the dealer show and some of my own feelings, and then how that, I'm going to try to tie all that together right now. So, three things you're looking for with the exhaust is sound, style, and performance, right? Sound and style take second to me on performance on this bike, because I went for the 114. I did not get the 114 version to then, you know, put some crappy pipes on there. So I really wanted to go Screaming Eagle with the Screaming Eagle tuner to see what Harley Davidson had produced for their own bikes. This is not, you know, they're claiming that they're the best in performance, and I think it's probably pretty likely that the people that built the engine and the stock exhaust with performance in mind published the torque numbers, and you know, I think they probably are indeed the crap out of these mufflers before putting them out. That's one of the benefits to knowing the changes that are coming beforehand. All the aftermarket guys got to play catch up. That said, sound and performance, or sound and style wise, these mufflers really don't do it for me. I really want to try different pipes based on what I like as far as sound and style, but I really wanted to know what the performance standing was on Harley stuff, so it just made sense to try them out first. The reason I picked mufflers and Pro Tuner before handlebars is because for the first 60 days after purchase of a motorcycle, any genuine Harley Davidson part you choose falls under the 2-year warranty. That means the part and the labor is covered in the event of, you know, quality or workmanship problems that you may have with that item. I'm not going to go with genuine Harley Davidson handlebars. I'm going to do something aftermarket, I think, which means I spent a little less money on this upgrade than I will for handlebars, and it falls under my SWR, whereas handlebars would not have. Just so happens that's exactly how I did my Sportster too. When I bought it new, I did pipes first, and then I did handlebars like way later. We're gonna do handlebars quicker on this bike though, because I'm sick of this. I need to be like, I'm going to go kick it with the kids. For you guys in just about 5 seconds, we're going to the dyno room and we're gonna compare dyno numbers. All right, it's been about a week. Been riding the bike, I enjoy it. I don't really like the sound at all, but I finally get to find out the actual numbers, which is really, well, that's what's important. I didn't mention before though that I put the Pro Tuner on. It's a series of cables in the computer and you just set up a map. This bike already had the air filter, so all I've had to do to complete the stage 1 is add the mufflers and the Pro Tuner, and boom. Now I can't actually tune the bike, and I don't really want to anyway, because I plan to do more to it, and it's just really time consuming and I don't want to waste time. But you're either going to use a sniffer, which is a copper tube that I'm going to shove up the muffler and get air fuel readings off of the engine. Or I'm gonna use wideband O2s, which is the most accurate way, but the wideband O2s don't fit in the head pipe because, well, they're tiny like this, you know, narrowband style, so I can't screw the wideband into the head pipe. And for this model, the Screaming Eagle mufflers have catalytic converters inside the muffler, which means they're solid, you can't stick a sniffer up there, so air fuel stuff's just gonna have to wait until another time. But we do have power numbers, so let's get it. All right, truth be told, it's actually the next day. I ran out of lunch break yesterday, so it's lunch break this day. I got a bunch of stuff that I want to show you guys, but I've been leading y'all on for a while, so let's talk numbers. My base run initial from about a week ago was, oh, y'all can't see that. I'll throw it up on the screen. 80 horsepower and 107 foot-pounds of torque. A couple things I want to mention about all of the graphs you're going to see is it cuts out right after 5,500 RPM, which is right here at the bottom of the screen, because I actually hit the speed limiter on the bike. All the Milwaukee 8s at like 110 miles an hour, they're just, yeah, they're done. They cuts fuel, and well, that's why the lines drop down here on the right side of the graph. Anyway, real quick, in case you can't read a dyno graph, left side is power, right side is torque, and the bottom of the screen is the engine speed. So that was my base run. The reason I'm not happy with my numbers though is because after spending all of that money on mufflers, the Pro Tuner, and oh, this is a really good time to mention. Earlier I mentioned about the muffler gaskets. The description to the mufflers say that you need them. You don't. I ended up having to return them, which that did save me a little bit of money, but I still spent a ton of money on all these parts too. The comparison graph up on the screen, 107 to 109 foot-pounds of torque, 80 to 82, which, you know, so the reason I'm not real pleased is the 2 horsepower gain and the 2 foot-pounds of torque gain. I guess I had gotten used to the twin cam models. You install stage 1, you're about 5 and 5 horsepower, 5 foot-pounds torque over stock generally. Then you tune it out and you get another couple, 3 to 5 on each. Well, now I did mention that I didn't tune this. This is just the base map. So I mean, technically, if I bought the auto tune plug-in portion that they offer for this the Pro Tuner thing, I could probably gain a little more. Can't tune it for reasons already stated, like manually. But I just don't really want to throw any more money towards this at this particular time. I'd rather have handlebars. But really quick, looking at the graph, you can see on the comparison graph from 2,500 to 3 grand, the red line is the final run. It has more of a sharper incline. We're not talking huge numbers here, really. You're going from like 105 to 109 foot-pounds of torque in that area. But it's a much sharper turn between those two numbers than on the stock line. It's really flat right there. So I guess when I was leaving out of my initial ride, I kind of felt like I had this extra power.
It does feel heavier right off the rip there a little bit, maybe, hopefully. It should.
But it's not really more power, it's just how it felt a little better. I guess it just goes to show you though that when you spend money, you just tend to, you feel like it was worth it, where the dyno just, it doesn't lie. There at the end, 4750 on out, my horsepower line being the lower line in this graph, the final run, it is putting out more power longer than stock, but I don't really ride up there much. Anyway, I'm not super 100% pleased with this. I was, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I was really looking forward to you know, like bigger performance numbers out of the mufflers. It just started raining, which means the audio is gonna suck. All right, now that it's a little quieter out here, it's probably still heard a little bit, but hopefully it's not too horrible to listen to. I mentioned earlier in the video about the baffles, or the R&D behind the Screaming Eagle mufflers, how I thought that they would probably outperform a lot, since all of our other stage 1 builds, the final numbers, I've never done this like base to stage 1. I've always just put parts on that the customer generally picks out himself, looking for sound and style, and then we've tuned it out. And well, I've never really been pleased with the after number. So I am happy to have gained numbers, because it seems like some of the ones I've installed, I've probably actually gone backwards. Like the dyno, the Milwaukee 8 upgrades video I posted last year. I was pushing to get over 100 foot-pounds of torque out of a 107 with stage 1 on a touring bike. That just, it didn't seem quite right to me, but I don't know what the base numbers were either. I'm definitely looking for a different setup to see if I can gain or lose, but I'd love to have sound and style in a, you know, my performance gains don't outweigh the fact that I don't like how they sound. So you can take that for what it's worth. I don't know, you know, I mean, they do sound better in person than they do on audio. I've already listened to that portion of the video since that was a week ago. I can say that they sound better in person, but they don't sound that damn great. I've been really busy lately. So for example, it took me 2 lunch breaks just to film this one video, but fan mail's getting piled up. And November seems like the perfect time to shout out this particular company, the Beard Corp. I found them on Instagram, or they found me, or however that works. It's a really good Instagram page, and I suggest checking them out. I'll link them down below, but he put me together a little care package. I mentioned November because it's No Shave November, if you know what I'm talking about. But for all you guys that are gonna be new to beards for the month of November, you might not know about keeping up with a beard. For all you guys that keep beards all the time, it might be nice to get some good product. He has sent me, check this out. Ooh, I'm gonna need this. It's almost like he was putting this together because he knows that my beard could use some work. Beard balm, some beard oil here, and so thanks, man. I appreciate it. Another Instagram page worth following. You remember the Harley Davidson interns, perhaps? Maybe you guys, some of you guys follow them already. Well, HD Space Cowboy, that's now changed his name to Space Cowboy Official, I think. He does this artwork, right? And I've been peeping it. I like his style and everything, but none of it was really like talking to me until, yes, sir. I'm excited for that. I think I'm gonna hang it in the shop in there. But anyway, that's 2 Instagram pages worth following. And then the last one, this is from Bob. Wow, he really sent me a lot of stuff. He owns a vape shop and hooked it up with a new mod tank. For all you vapors out there, you know what's up. Some honeydew berry kiwi, which is nice, different juice. What else is in here? Pair of batteries, because you can't have a mod without some batteries. More juice. Like the whole box smells awesome. Oh, check this out. CafeInnervape.com. If you vapors out there want to check out some of his stuff, man. I really appreciate it, Bob. Thank you so much for, well, appreciating the channel and the work that goes into it, and for thanking me with gifts, because I like gifts. Back to performance though. There's a couple things I want to mention on top of the dyno graph. I know every time I mention performance, I end up with a lot of questions about baffles, if you need to tune, all this kind of stuff. So I do want to make sure I hit a couple of points. Always keep your baffles in. That's where all the R&D is. That's what makes the power. The pipe without a baffle is just a drag pipe, which doesn't make power. I could go in for a long time about this, but actually Lemmy from Revzilla did one of their 2-minute shorts on drag pipes not too long ago. I'll link that down below too. It's worth having a watch and kind of understanding how exhaust pipes work. Yeah, he does a good enough job that I don't need to go back over it again. Tuning and all that stuff. The O2 sensors I talked about earlier, they're narrow band O2 sensors that Harley uses. They make the air-fuel ratio right to a degree. Not as good as wideband O2 sensors, but they do some work. So if you want to put mufflers on your bike and that's all you're doing, you're safe without dynoing it and tuning it and all that stuff, but you are missing out on like having it set just right so the O2 sensors can make very small changes around that perfect line. It just depends on what you're after. If you're after sound and style, just mufflers, you're good. If you're after performance, then don't cheap out. Go ahead and get it tuned and all that stuff. If you want to throw down any questions, but just remember, if you ask me about baffles, I'm not going to answer it. Go watch Revzilla's video, and well, that's my answer for baffles anyways. Leave them in there. If you don't like the way the bike sounds with baffles, then find a set of mufflers that sounds good with baffles in them. Because what everybody else likes isn't necessarily what you like. It is all preference and stuff. But I would imagine I've been going on for plenty long enough sitting here, and I bet my lunch break is probably over. And the rain is back, so let me end it there. Throw down questions in the comments, and yeah, if you like this video, make sure you give it a big dirty thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button, tap the bell notification so that you know when I upload. If you haven't quite got your fix, there's a video here and here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.